Okay. All right. All right. How you doing? Good morning. Don't look like that. It's fine. You good. You good. You Gucci. Don't worry. All right. It's the 6 commandments. I'm sorry if you're at work and you wasn't looking for a black guy to yell in your ear, but I'm here with an urgent message. Fresh from the gym, fresh off leg day. Shout out to my man wearing a power belt. I don't know what kind of belt that was, man, but he took the leg press machine, and I was not equipped to confront him and say, sir, I want to do the leg press machine. It's fine. I found another station. There's some kettlebell deadlifts and kettlebell swings the proper way, not swinging the jaw above my head like a freaking idiot. But shout out to leg day. So I wanted to share with you guys, I've had different weight loss journeys, and I wanted to share, just my journey. Just listen real quick, man, about how I lost about 60 pounds since the spring of 2021. So I'm coming up on 2 years of, actually, I'm sorry, I'm 2 years and you could say like 2 months from when I first decided that I'm tired of being big as hell. Actually, ironically enough, Kevin Samuels, it helped inspire me to want to lose weight. Because when he would have these conversations on his platform, he would talk about, at the time, I know it sounded harsh, but it was the truth. When, so as an image consultant, he has to ask, your weight, when women call on the show, okay, I'm an image consultant, weight, height, and dress size. We start from there, right? Because this kind of person has to style you. This person has to come up with, okay, what is your feminine or masculine archetype, and what looks suits you best. So that's why he would start with that, right? And with the women, he got into the conversation about weight, right? And he said, his women would say, I'm 200 pounds, I'm 220, I'm this, I'm 2 this, I'm 2 that. And it's like, man, you weigh as much as a linebacker. And and as a people, we never thought of it like that. We never thought about, if a woman is well over 200 pounds, that her and the NFL linebacker weigh about the same. And again, I'm like, wow, you know what, damn, you know what? And not only that, you have to ask yourself, why are you okay with that? If you knew that you wasn't born that big, you wasn't always that big, why are you okay with that? Why is that all right with you? So he would make that point, right? Now of course for men, it's just, you just a fat dude. He had this video where this dude had called in, young guy, right? And the viral clip that I'm talking about always starts from the point where he says, if I'm not getting choosing signals, then I'm not going to approach. You know what I mean? So I'm guessing that the conversation was about cold approaching, right? And he all right, so, so he's trying to go viral. Like, Kevin was trying to go viral. So he says, well, do you have a big dick? Like, nigga, what? You heard me, nigga. Do you have a big dick? And he like, no, I ain't no Ron Jeremy. He like, yo, like you don't know if you got a big dick? So I guess he did that to kind of jar him and get his attention. And he says, all right, well, how much do you make? He says, I make about 400 every 2 weeks. He said, all right, so that's about $1,600 a month, all right? And whatever that adds up to per year, right? He said, how much you weigh? So couldn't find out the dude was about 300 pounds and whatnot. He said, yo, he said, listen, so you don't got a big dick, you a fat dude, you live with your mother, you don't make no money, and you want a woman to give you choosing signals, right? And the whole idea was that your image matters. Your image communicates something. So one thing that when I would hear him talk about this, I started thinking like, man, because at the time I was outside. At the time I was on Hinge, so I was dating. I never took Hinge super serious. I just figured, well, it's an easy way for me to get practice with just going out and dating women and meeting people and stuff like that. I never planned on being there long term. I figured, well, nah, I gotta go ahead and get outside, And this is kind of like after the pandemic when everyone's been inside. And during that time, I kind of had I had a chance to be on my own, be by myself, and not get the same kind of interaction I was getting, say, having co-workers and whatnot, right? And I'm like, man, you know what? This may all go differently if I waited a little less. You know what I mean? So from there, the first thing I did was, one of the first steps I made was I bought a scale. I never forget. I believe it was either April. I think it was sometime in April. I be wanting to say April 14th. I don't know why. But I went and got a scale. This is like shortly after I moved into my apartment. And I drove all the way to Target and Union, and I bought a scale. And one thing that I always avoided, I think a lot of people who gain a lot of weight avoid, is the scale. Now, some people may tell you, oh, don't obsess over the scale. But if you don't know how much you weigh, how can you watch your weight? That's like watching your account balance without watching your account balance. No one is able to do that much math in their head unless you never use your card. Unless you like go get cash out and only use cash, you know. But no one can just always know what their account balance is. We have so many things coming out, so many different variables, right? So first thing I did was get a scale, and I stepped on that scale, and I looked at that weight, and it said 314 pounds. The last time before that I had weighed myself, now mind you, at that point I think I weighed myself like once a year. I think I might from time to time get curious enough to go hop on the scale. So I would get curious enough to hop on the scale, and every time I got on that scale, I was always heavier. It was always like, nah, you lying. That can't be, right? So every time I would get on the scale, that would be the experience. And so from there, I wasn't necessarily avoiding the scale, but I wasn't understanding the scale is my friend. Okay? So this time I said, I'm going to watch this scale, and I'm going to step on the scale at least a few times a week. Okay? So I can see what's working and what's not working. Okay? So I looked at that scale. It said, like I said, 314 pounds. And like I was saying before, I think the last time I weighed myself was in 2020, and I felt like it was either 310. I think it was between 310 and 320, and I was like, even then, I'm like, nah, that can't be right. You know, I'm really active. I'm outside. You know, I'm working out and doing this and doing that. Like, how can I be getting heavier? You know, and again, right. So when I actually bought a scale, and I said I'm going to own this scale, that's when things changed. That's when I actually started really watching my weight, right? Also, long-term thinking. Shout out to AMS. AMS has a video on long-term thinking, the power of long-term thinking. When we have long-term thinking, right, we're able to make better decisions because we're thinking about, all right, if I do this right now, it's going to have this consequence or this benefit later on. So, for example, I get paid $1,000 on payday, right? I see the new Jordans are out. You know what I mean? And I say, you know what? I want them in both colors. And I spent $500, right? But I had rent due in a couple of days. Now I don't have the money for rent because I didn't do the long-term thinking of, I got rent due. I can't buy these Jordans, you know. Now that's kind of short-term. You know what I mean? Let's take it a step further. All right. I have an extra 10 to 15 hours a week that I could be working, right? So what I can do, one thing, I can go hang out with my friends and smoke weed and hang out with my battle rap buddies, right? And just kick it with them on a video chat on Facebook. Or I can kick it with them maybe a half hour a day, maybe an hour a day, and spend the rest of my time learning a new skill, attending an online class. All right, that's the long-term thinking of, okay, if I put this extra time into this, I'll get this benefit. All right, I may get a job when I'm offered benefits, right? And they saying, okay, listen, we can give you health care, we can give you dental, all that stuff. It'll come out your check at a rate of about $200 a month or $100-something a month and whatnot. And I'll say, well, shoot, man, if I do that, then my check gonna go from 15 to like 14, man. You know, I don't want that. You know, but then I got a toothache. You know, then I gotta go to the hospital. I gotta go for a checkup. I gotta go to urgent care, and I gotta pay out of pocket because I didn't get the insurance. Long-term thinking. All right. So going back to the scale, right? I was like, listen, I'm gonna lose this weight. I'm gonna be here anyway. I'm going to be on earth anyway. I'm not leaving the earth. I'm not leaving this body no time soon. Right? But, so I said, listen, well, I don't care how long it takes. I'm going to lose this weight 1 ounce at a time if I got to. A pound lost is still a pound lost. So it started with my decision. And my decision to be accountable for my weight. Because a lot of big people have this thing in their head where they think that their body is special. You got some kind of special genetics, and your body just gains weight differently, and you just some kind of superhero that has the superpower of gaining weight easily. No, that's not what's happening. You eat too much and don't move enough. Or you eat too much of the wrong things and don't move enough. The second thing, so first thing was the scale. I know it took me 10 minutes to get there, but that's fine. We're going to chop this up, and for the rest of y'all, that can't wait for nothing. Second thing, right? Now, I was always walking. So when I first, so actually I've always been taking walks, right? But not necessarily consistently every day. But I was always taking walks. I was walking around my neighborhood during the pandemic. I walked a little more, but it wasn't every single day or a few times a day. I might, take a little walk with my son and walk to the playground and stuff like that, so on and so forth, right? During the pandemic, I started to walk a little more. I started going to the Weequahic Park and walking around the track. It's about 2 miles, and it includes a lot of hills and what have you, right? So I was walking a little more, but not every single day. It wasn't a consistent thing, and I wasn't measuring it at all, right? So, when I moved to my apartment now, where I live at, is I'm in the hood, but I'm like on the border of the hood and kind of a suburb. So it ain't that bad to me. So where I'm at, it's pretty flat. It's not really hills, so you can easily walk about a couple of miles or a mile or so, and it's not necessarily that strenuous because there's no hills over here. Don't get me wrong. From where I'm at, right, if I walk all the way to the end of the street and whatnot, it's about, it might be a mile. It may be a mile. I could be wrong, but I think it's about a mile, close to a mile if I walk to the very end, right? But I would do that walk consistently. So initially I went from 314 to about 290 within about like a month or two. And I think mostly because when I weighed myself, I think I probably, I might have been carrying food, or maybe my food wasn't digested. I don't know, but fairly quickly I went to about 294 to like 290 within like a couple of months or so. Maybe definitely by fall I was in the 290s, like going towards like 288 and stuff like that. So 314 to 288, right? And this is all in 2021. Now, previously in my prior experiences, when I was younger, when I could lose weight, every time I lost weight, I gained it right back as soon as it got cold outside, and I could never figure out why. I never understood why, right? So it was because, for one, I wasn't monitoring my weight, and also I wasn't moving enough. Okay, let me go ahead and build a little more, right, on the movement. Okay, another big game changer. I came across, it was 2 videos I watched. Now, I watched this guy actually a lot. His name was, I think, Paul Revilla, and there was a video I watched with Chris Beast Mode Jones. But I'm against Paul Revilla. I forget where I saw this at, but basically, I came across. I think he did a video about how I walk to get shredded, and he was explaining that, you can burn the extra 500 calories a day by walking at least 10,000 steps. Now, honestly, you want to get between 10,000 and 20,000, somewhere between there. It could be 11,000, it could be 10.5, it could be 15,000. But when you get over 10,000 steps, that's when you start seeing actual weight loss. And he explained basically how consistently moving is how he was able to lose weight. Or not lose weight, because he's a bodybuilder, but how he's able to stay shredded, because he's consistently burning calories and burning fat because he's always moving. It's not about having a super intense workout. And we can find ways to stay on our feet all day long. Like, you don't have to actually go outside and walk. You can be wherever you work at. You just go and get on your feet and walk around, and walk here, walk there. You can park further away from your job or where you're going, extra steps. When you're at the gym, walk in circles while you're getting your rest. It's a million things you can do to keep moving, right? But when I started started measuring my steps, right, that's when I was able to measure how many calories I'm burning. So I downloaded one of those step counter apps, and I got it on my phone. Someone told me about that, so I didn't have to get a Fitbit. I got it on my phone. So from there, I was able to measure how much I'm moving, right? So that was another huge game changer, is that I was able to guarantee, okay, I know I'm burning more calories now. Another huge tip, and in this keto, keto has become very influential, and carnivore as well. I think those are all great diets. Those diets are great for cleaning up the gut while also giving you the vitamins you need to function properly. Me personally, if you're trying to lose weight, I don't know. I was never able I was never able to just eat only like fat, only meat, like basically protein and fat, long enough to go into a ketogenic state. And I don't know. Maybe it's just not for me, right? But I do think those are great diets, but not necessarily for what I'm talking about, right? Another piece of great advice that Paul Revella gave was that he was talking about having a higher carb diet helps you to lose weight. Why is that? The more good carbs you have in your diet, the more active you are. I am more active than I've ever been because I consistently have carbs. Now, I don't even eat high carb every single day. I really don't. I eat like, and I don't eat high carb at all. I really probably need more carbs, honestly. But having more carbs in my diet, right, I was able to move a lot more. So previously, when I first came here, right, if I walked from my house to the end of it, because it's a very long street, it's like about like let's say it's like 8-9 blocks. I don't know, but it's like, let's say I walk 9 blocks. I remember like feeling like my legs would be a little achy from exhaustion from doing that, right? When I increased my carbs, I realized I was able to walk for longer and walk more without feeling any ache or exhaustion in my body and whatnot. And also I stopped crashing. I stopped feeling like exhausted as easily, or feeling like, that feeling you get when you feel like real tired but you can't go to sleep, like that feeling like that. When I was in my 20s, I experienced that a lot, but I didn't know it was because I was deficient in like every nutrient, and I was just working out, and after I would get done working out, I go home and I would feel real tired, but I couldn't relax. I didn't realize, you got to go get a piece of beef, get some eggs in your system. This one, I wasn't eating eggs and I wasn't eating beef, and I'm making bad chicken and all types of stuff, right? So we had that going. So one more layer. Measuring how many steps you're getting, right, or how much movement you're getting, and also including more good carbs in your diet so you can have more endurance and more stamina, right? And also for men, this is one of the reasons why your testosterone is low, because you don't have enough carbs in your diet, enough good carbs in your diet. Potatoes, sweet potatoes, rice, brown rice. I don't care what you say, rice and brown rice, them carbs I just listed, carbs without no sugar and stuff like that. Listen, I had carbs almost every time before, me and my lady have relations. And let me tell you, at 36 years old, I get it there every time. I don't mean like get it there a little bit. I get it all the way there. Even when I don't want to, I get it all the way there. She getting all that. Don't tell her I made this video. One of my last points, because I'm supposed to be out of here. Shout out to Chris Beast Mode Jones. He's one of the pioneers of YouTube fitness, at least as I know it. I was watching him back when I was coming out of college, 2013. He's was a bodybuilder that was on YouTube. He's on YouTube, but I think he was doing that like the collab videos like Furious Pete, and I believe he might have one with Mike Rashid and CT Fletcher. I could be wrong about that, but I think he was collabing with other fitness influencers and stuff like that. Cool guy, black guy, cool dude, and whatnot, right? And he talked about the deficit and being in a caloric deficit, and he's like, well, it's very profound. I say this to everybody: if you're not consistently gaining weight or gaining a lot of weight, right, and you seem to kind of be at the same weight consistently, you're probably eating just a little bit too much. It could be just a little bit. Doesn't mean, just a little bit. And that's all you gotta do. For everyone out there, if you're stuck at the same weight, just move a little more, eat a little less. The best thing you can do is start doing steps, or count your steps. If you're not doing any walking out, work on doing 5,000 steps a day. Then go to 10,000. If you can maintain 10,000 steps a day, for most people, that's burning about 500 calories. And honestly, once you make time for your walk during the day, in the morning, knock out an hour-long walk. In the evening, knock out an hour-long walk. Everybody got 2 hours in a day. Within 2 hours in a day, you can probably walk about 10,000 steps, and especially if you stay on your feet a majority of the day. It's not as hard as you think. And that's not what she said. So yeah, those were the main things. Moving more, which is again obvious, to stay in the deficit. Watching the scale, you know what I mean, and and getting more healthy carbs in your diet so you can have more energy. I know it sounds like very obvious, like a no-brainer, but for years and years I tried so many different things, right? And I read that a few times. There was a website I used to be on called anabolicmen.com, and I started my journey in learning and understanding testosterone and whatnot. And I don't mean taking no testosterone pills, getting into the actual vitamins and nutrients that actually fuel and build testosterone up, right? So and I remember they had an article saying higher carbohydrate intake leading to higher testosterone. And that was always the missing piece from my game, was I was not getting enough carbs in my diet, and now I do. You know what I mean? Everything changed after that. That probably was another huge game changer, because now I can be more active and I can move more. You know what I mean? And also having more testosterone, I can consistently build muscle. I can consistently be strong. I can consistently get through my workouts, without being, pooped afterwards. So anyway, wanted to shout out with you guys. It's me, your big bro. It's the Six Packs Command.